素晴らしいな。戦闘民族が神の木をまとった姿がこれか。
Oh my god. Hello. Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel to Dragon Ball Super episode my episode 127 review. Oh my god. I might as well just put Rant in the title for this video, but on the flip side, this may be the calmest rant you'll ever hear. Alright, don't get me wrong, people. I enjoyed the episode. It was entertaining, really. It was a spectacle to see, you know, but this episode made no sense. Oh my god. Shadow. Even you people have to admit it. Alright, so let's get right into it. So episode 127 of Dragon Ball Super. Let me kind of just go over this thing and kind of clear up the positives here. So the episode, I will praise the episode for establishing context and backstory where Jiren is concerned. I did like Jiren's characterization in this episode, a bit more talkative. That was definitely interesting. Definitely seeing the teamwork, the fight itself between Jiren and Android 17, Goku and Vegeta was really choreographed well, I'd say. It didn't really feel repetitive or, you know, drag on too long for any particular scene. Definitely flowed nicely all over the place. That was fun and all, but okay. You have to understand, for this episode, it made completely no sense from a power scaling standpoint, honestly. And I'm going to break this down to show you how stupid this episode is. Okay. Before, Goku and Vegeta together couldn't damage Jiren. You remember? Do you remember Jiren taking a final flash from Vegeta and a times 20 Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue Goku, a Kamehameha at the same time, unfazed? Now, Jiren powers up to full power, quote unquote, I guess, and he's not instantly ringing out anyone. You see the problem with that? Like, the thing is, the writers have essentially written themselves into a corner where it makes no sense for Jiren to not instantly ring out anyone, but at the same time they can't have him ring out anyone for the sake of screen time and the plot. So they're in a very sticky corner, to say the least, and it makes no sense. Okay, and my gosh. Okay, so the episode starts off and Jiren powers up, they all rush him. Of course, from the very start it makes no sense, as I've been saying. Where Android 17 is concerned, I don't care how much he was holding back against Super Saiyan Blue Goku in the recruitment section of this arc, but him even being able to damage Jiren in this in this, and they want to brush it off as a surprise attack when he comes up to Jiren and he says one line and Jiren has I'm supposed to believe Jiren doesn't have enough time to put up his guard to defend against whatever Android 17 throws at him. Like, is this supposed to make any sense? Really? Like, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place for this review, but it makes no sense. Subarashi. Okay, so they made the plan that okay, we're gonna try to create an opening against Jiren. And I'm here like, what? What? This makes no sense. Okay. So they try attacking Jiren all out again, trying to create an opening, but of course it doesn't work. Eventually Frieza comes back in and he's attacking Jiren in his his regular final form, and I'm like, okay, this still not making any sense. Of course he doesn't accomplish much or anything at all against Jiren. He eventually goes back golden. But of course, he's instantly brushed aside, even though I'm still not sure why Jiren wasn't able to just instantly ring him out. And are they flying in this episode? That's another because, I mean, it's a question that might have been brought up before, but in this episode, I've got to really wonder. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't with this review. I am all over the place. General. As I've mentioned, it was a plus for the episode to see them kind of establish some context and backstory for Jiren. As you know, Android 17 brings up why he wants to win the tournament, and he reveals his wish for the Super Dragon Balls, well, we already knew. And Belmont kind of says, like, really kind of compares it to Jiren by going into Jiren's backstory, and we learn that, hey, Jiren was actually, a pretty cool kid, well, a pretty chill kid, when some mysterious being attacked his village, killed his family. He trained, killed his comrades when they tried attacking the being again after reappearing over many years, apparently. And Jiren eventually came to the decision that, strength is everything, emotions and all that is for losers, apparently. Which, as I said, I will praise the episode for establishing context where Jiren is concerned, backstory, because honestly, context is one of the things that helps to really, is what Super has been lacking for a lot of things, especially when it comes out to certain narrative payoffs where the story is concerned. And it really did wonders for his character, as evidenced by what Android 17 was saying. He thought, here I thought, you're a killing machine. So it was kind of like the writers were kind of, throwing shade on themselves to say, Jiren up to this point didn't really have much of a character, but this kind of paints him as a pretty humanistic or human-like character in terms of, his character and all of that. Which I will give the episode praise for, but at the same time, it still makes no sense, this entire episode. And, oh, I even forgot to mention, I should have mentioned at the start of the review, Vegeta, the guy who was supposedly out of power, is going... It makes no sense. Vegeta, the guy that was supposedly out of power, is... in this episode, transforming into Super Saiyan, its new Super Saiyan Blue form multiple times, going in... makes no sense. And by the end of this, after Jiren kind of dispatches of Frieza, and he basically breaks up the whole plan to catch him off guard, and Vegeta and Goku are basically out of energy again. They're basically winded. Jiren fires a blast, and Android 17 decides to sacrifice himself to actually give Goku and Vegeta a fighting chance. Now, my problem with this scene is that I love how it continues to paint Android 17 as the real MVP of this tournament of power. Honestly, all problems with Super and this arc aside, Android 17, in terms of his performance in this tournament, nothing but stellar, gotta give him kudos. But the problem with this is that they say he's self-destructed. What? They don't even mention how he self-destruct. Okay, let me establish something. Back in at the end of the Cell games, they made a wish to get rid of all the explosives in the chests of the androids. So when they say 17 self-destructed here, because even before they mentioned that, I'm saying, okay, are they gonna eliminate Jiren? And I figured they mentioned that 17 self-destructed, so it was kind of predictable at that point in the episode. But at the same time, I'm saying they're gonna have to at least explain how he self-destructed, because he no longer has the bomb in his chest. So what? Monster Boy, I told you that this is one of my friends. I predicted that this episode would make no sense from a power scaling standpoint. You can't have Jiren power up to full power and not instantly be ringing out these people. It's sad to say, but as I mentioned, I don't even know how to rate this episode. Alright, from a writing standpoint, I'm tempted to say this episode was garbage, honestly. But on the production standpoint, where like things like art, animation, fight choreography, and that was pretty decent. And as I said, the context is there. Android 17 still being the MVP. But at the same time, from the start of the episode, power scaling makes no sense. Vegeta, who was supposedly out of energy, is doing shit, as well as Goku. Jiren seemingly can't instantly ring out these guys, even though they couldn't do shit against him before, and he powers up to full power, and they still can't. You know what? This makes no sense. And the lack of explanation of how 17 self-destruction, it blatantly contradicts what was established in Dragon Ball Z, but makes no sense. You know what? I am going to probably just end this review with one particular scene that just wraps that blatantly just summarizes how Super is written. Honestly, they'll show you one thing, you'll question, and then you'll question it because it makes no sense, and they'll move on. But I'm sorry, this review was all over the place. As I said, it's probably the calmest rant you'll ever get here, but whatever. Anyway, cue the clip. Sanju, Chia, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.
すごいですよベジータさん